Minokajep, good morning, and welcome to Native News Online's election coffee break. This is our weekly morning chat about all things election, so grab a coffee and listen in while we discuss the latest November 2024 election coverage with our very own Native News Online election staff. Today, I am joined with Marlon, who is joining us from Wisconsin, and I'm Neely. I'm joining in from Lansing, Michigan. And today we are going to be talking about the election because today is the final day to vote. Today is the final day to cast your vote. And so now we are really going to see what the effects of both campaigns' hard work is going to be. We are going to officially see what the outcome of this past campaign season. So, Marlon, how are you feeling going into today?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Just thinking about our recent poll, we did the last poll in September, and we'd have this new poll that where, we just released an article today about our Native News Online poll. And in there, it's 760 plus respondents to our poll,
Right.
with the vice president leading the former president. So that's a big change from the September poll where Donald Trump was ahead during that time.
Mhm.
So that's pretty interesting.
So we were talking about, because that is true, the results now show from our third poll that Harris is leading Trump, I think, not by much, but is still leading. And so we were talking about how we think the debate performance had a little bit to do about that. What do you think, Marlon?
Oh yeah, the debate it definitely showed that, at least in the poll, it showed that it matters to it can have impact.
Mhm.
We hear a lot from the campaigns as well as the pundits that they don't put too much stock into the debate performance. I
Right.
mean, of course they're going to try to do their best, but it can sway voters, and that's what our polls showing that debate performance is a key factor in persuading voters to vote here,
Mhm.
Democrat or Republican.
Yeah, and both parties have been ramping up their rallies. I know just on this past Sunday, uh, Vice President Harris came and visited Michigan State University, and she spoke to students, faculty, just other East Lansing community members. And so both campaigns have been ramping up their appearances. I know I've been getting a ton of emails from the Trump campaign saying that he, was going to be here and there. Were you able to cover any events this past weekend?
I planned on it like Friday night. Where was that? Here in Madison, and they're coming out with the Star Power bunch of musical special guests coming. Here they had, I think, four nationally known musical acts here, but in my family we had a death in the family, and that kind of took precedence over some of the attending these events. But I had the opportunities were there. I wanted to get out there, but there's it's we're kind of dealing with this in the family. But then there was an event also with uh, in Milwaukee with there was a lot of I think that was kind of directed at uh, maybe some black voters, male
Mhm.
voters in the Milwaukee area, trying to persuade them to vote for the Harris ticket. And then again last night was, and I did tune into this one online that former President Barack Obama was also uh, in Milwaukee last night, and he had pretty much the same message that he had here in Madison, and that was kind of debunking some of the Trump campaign strengths that
Mhm.
the economy as well as immigration, that he was highlighting some of those, um, what the Trump camp represents or misrepresents.
That's what, I think this last event at East Lansing that I was able to watch was her message was mostly reliant on this idea of unity. So she talked about, she made pledges to the people she was speaking to, but it was also a pledge to America. And she was asking for their vote, but she pledged that, she was going to be a leader for the country and for the people and work with people that, may disagree with her. And so that's the message I think that the Harris campaign is really relying on to push them through to this final day of voting. Both campaigns are definitely, going to those communities, really trying to get out every single last vote. And so, what I was thinking about though, Marlon, is how soon do you think we're going to be able to get the election results? Because in years past, it's taken forever. I know in 2020 it took, as long as a week in some parts of the country. So, what are you thinking about this?
Yeah, I think, I was listening to the Georgia Secretary of State. He was hoping that they would get something before midnight on election day. So, nightly news like 10:30, 11, that they may have some be able to call the election at that time. But we never know. Like just today, we see the poll coming out of Iowa, and when's the last time either candidate has been to Iowa? But the poll there showing that giving Harris a slight edge over Trump in Iowa, a stronghold for the Republican Party. That's just we don't know what's going to happen. It's so razor thin,
Right.
the margins, that we're not going to know, but we're going to know very soon. That's all we do know, is that the votes will be cast, and then it comes to the counting of votes and certifying, and we hope it's going to be tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday morning, I think we should know.
Right. I think it is, going to be an interesting road to the final announcement of who's won the presidency. I think this election is very tight, like you were saying, in the polls. If either one is leading, it's only by a mark like 1 or 2% or less than in some polls that I've been seeing too. So we're definitely going to be watching this election very, very closely because it's not over until every last vote is counted. And so, Marlon, you voted already. I voted already. I know Levi's voted already. And so, what are you going to be doing today on election day?
Like I said, we had a death in the family. I'm going to be attending a funeral, and then after that, I'll be with my family. We have a tradition of, once it starts getting cold here in the fall and winter, we do a soup night. So we're going to have soup and some comfort food, a little decompression from all of the election cycle, all the news, all of the different remarks that we're hearing. So hopefully we can relax and enjoy some soup and spend time with family.
Right.
What about you? What's your plans?
I'll definitely be watching the results, probably going to try and do some things to take my mind off of it. I know everybody is going to be watching this election very closely and really sitting on the edge of their seat the entire time. There's a lot at stake this election, but I am ready to see what the results are. We've put in a lot of work for this election, and we're going to see what happens. So,
what you just made me think of the recent poll that Native News Online conducted again, and Project 2025. Even though the Trump ticket has distanced itself from it, that we're seeing in our poll that it does make a difference, knowing what what's all contained in Project 2025. So
Right.
that's interesting to me.
Yeah, so Native News Online did do a story kind of outlining what natives need to know about Project 2025 going into Election Day. So if you haven't cast your vote, go out and cast it. If you need more information about where your polling place is, go to nativevote.org or vote.org. And either of those websites will definitely help you to find a polling station. So with that, miigwech for joining us today, and we hope to share a coffee again during our next